Hello, Pisky MP, back again for another Metroid Prime tutorial help video. So, again, due to some special requests here, I am making a video for how to climb, I believe this room is called, Research Access, better known in the Metroid Prime speedrunning community as Spiderless Shaft 2, or the second Spider Shaft. So this one's a bit more straightforward than the first one is. Once you have it down, there's a lot less variability to it. Still an important room to know how to do. Easy to mess up if you're nervous and on a fast-paced run or something, but overall, pretty doable. So, keep in mind this is just what I do personally. I'm sure you'll see different variations of this between different runners, but there's really no major speed difference between what I'm doing and what anybody else is doing. I will make sure to again go in depth with any movement and or collisions that you might need to treat carefully. So you'll want to come in through the door, and honestly, I do like a jump turn 180, not quite 180. I kind of like face this wall as I'm jumping this way. Your goal is to kind of land around this area, like right here, facing this direction. Again, I always tend to have like a slightly down angle when I'm doing this, just to make landing, just to know when I'm going to land on something just a little bit better. That way you can sooner jump out of, make your next movement. So right about at where this corner is, you want to jump up and jump onto this guy right here. Now, this thing can kind of be a little weird to jump on, but just like that, right? Now you'll see that there's a little bit of an incline right here. You just do a ghetto jump off of that. So you jump in, jump back, or whatever, and just do a double jump up. And I typically like to land in this corner right here. Now be careful, this is one of those really small ledges. You need to be really careful and light on the control stick when you land here. And make sure you did a ghetto jump, because a regular jump will not provide enough height. So you need to get a ghetto jump off of that slope. Now, this is where there's a little, this is, I guess, what you'd call the challenging part of this room. Landing on the rock. Now, the rock that you're landing on is above me here, sticking out of the wall, and its collision is as follows. It's simply, you can just stand on like the topmost part of the rock, even though it doesn't quite look, the collision doesn't match up with what the visual is kind of almost on it, and you just need to like kind of, I guess, mess around with it for a few minutes and kind of feel it out. But your goal is to just land essentially on the very top of it. Now, for consistency's sake and to make that easier, I usually jump back, and I usually like jump backwards like this. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, I jump backwards, and then I jump forwards. I don't know if you can kind of see like when I'm timing that jump, right? So from this pillar here, jump backwards and then up and forwards towards the top of this rock, right? So say I'm coming through the door here. Like that. Now you're going to turn, and you basically want to wait until one of these, now the faster you get and the better you get at this, the more you'll be able to judge when it's safe to jump and when it's not. But basically you are attempting to land on top of one of these while it is in that space where the spider track is. So like you'd want to jump like right now, and then there's multiple things you can do here, but I typically like to jump up into the right and push up into the right corner, and there's a weird small standable spot right here that you can land on, and then you just jump up and out. So yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those things where if you try to rush this before you're really comfortable with it, you'll probably end up failing it a lot. Just get to know the collision, get to know the standable spots you're working with, and really this room shouldn't give you a whole lot of problem. This jump can be kind of weird, you know. Just make sure that you get in that ghetto jump. Like I said, see how you're not getting enough height there? You actually need to get the ghetto off of this, off of that slope. Like that. And I kind of like jump backwards and then jump forwards with my space jump, but I kind of time my space jump a certain way. Kind of early, actually, is what it is. I kind of time it really early. I don't delay much between the inputs, because you don't want to have a ton of speed while you're landing at the top here. You want to have as little speed as possible by the time you've reached the peak of this rock. So the sooner you space jump, you know, the less speed you'll have by the time you reach the apex of your jump, which is what you're going for here. And again, I don't really have much of a way to explain exactly what you're aiming for here. Just pay close attention to what my view is looking at, but also just mess around with it a little bit. Just get to know and understand that collision before you attempt to do this fast. Remember, this, you don't have to like wait for these, but you also want to make sure it's safe to jump. And again, that's not exactly upright. It's actually a little bit more right, but it is upright. Like, you want to make sure you're pushed right though. There's just a weird standable spot there. There's actually a bunch of standable spots up here, so you can experiment around if you want, if this spot isn't doing it for you. This one just happens to be fastest because it's closest to the door. So yeah, that's my I guess research access strat. I'll catch you next time.